a postal address, IP addresses help computers find each other. But since 72.14.205.100 doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, we also give them names like Google.com, Facebook.com, or SecurityCatalyst.com. So this is how it works. Your computer at home is not a server, because it's not connected directly to the Internet. Computers you and I use every day are called clients, because they're connected indirectly to the Internet through an Internet service provider. Here we'll pretend that this is my home laptop and I'm using DSL. Now let's pretend that I want to visit AOL.com, which is coincidentally both a server and an ISP. I hop onto my laptop with DSL, go through my ISP, onto the Internet, and look at AOL.com. My computer connects with AOL.com, and I can look at its web pages. Now, let's say that I want to send an email to Aunt Ruth. Aunt Ruth has AOL dial-up from home, and I've got a Gmail account. I log on to gmail.com and compose a message to Aunt Ruth's email address, auntruth@aol.com. Once I click send, gmail.com sends the email to AOL.com. The next day, Aunt Ruth dials into AOL servers and retrieves the email. Whenever an email, picture, or web page travels across the Internet, computers break the information into smaller pieces called packets. When information reaches its destination, the packets are reassembled in their original order to make a picture, email, web page, or tweet. Okay, so imagine you're at work sitting next to your boss, and you're both surfing online. Your boss is doing market research, and you're updating your Facebook profile. You're both sending packets back and forth over the Internet. But what's to keep your packets from accidentally ending up on your boss's screen? That could be embarrassing. The solution to that problem is IP addresses and routers. Everything connected directly or indirectly to the Internet has an IP address. Everything. That includes your computer, servers, cell phones, and all of the equipment in between. Anywhere two or more parts of the Internet intersect, there's a piece of equipment called a router. Routers direct your packets around the Internet, helping each packet get one step closer to its destination. Every time you visit a website, upwards of 10 to 15 routers may help your packets find their way to and from your computer. Imagine each packet as a piece of candy wrapped in several layers. The first layer is your computer's IP address. Your computer sends the packet to the first router, which adds its own IP address. Each time the packet reaches a new router, another layer is added until it reaches the server. Then, when the server sends back information, it creates packets with an identical wrapping. As the packet makes its way over the Internet back to your computer, each router unwraps a layer to discover where to send the packet next until it reaches your computer and not your boss's. And that's how the Internet works, in 5 minutes or less. And you're now easily in the top 10% of people who understand the basics of the Internet. If you found this video helpful, check out SecurityCatalyst.com for all kinds of ideas on how to protect your information. I'm Aaron Titus.
So yeah, that's how the Internet works in 5 minutes. No, there were a lot of stuff, technical details being thrown around. Don't worry about it if you don't fully understand it. Just appreciate the animation. So I thought about, since I'm going to be talking about web application, I thought about what is one application that you guys probably all know about. And the best one that I came up with was Facebook. So I'm going to use this as an example to show you how the web works from the high-level overview, from your experience. You'll see what I mean. But before we get to that part, does anyone know who this guy is? What? I couldn't hear you. Oh yeah. Well, this guy is the internet sensation. Oh no, he is the Asian sensation in America right now. Basically, anyone here knows or follows the NBA, National Basketball Association, basically a professional basketball league in the US. And this guy is really famous right now. Yeah, so he graduated from Harvard, of all schools and made it really big in the NBA right now. His name is Jeremy Lin, and if you asked any Asian Americans in the US right now, they would know him like by heart. So we have this phenomenon called Linsanity. Linsanity, you know, his last name, Linsanity, like insanity. It's just a pun. But he plays for the New York Knicks. Yeah, I just wanted to share with you guys some of the stuff that's going on in the US. So bottom line, he's a really famous basketball player. But we're not talking about basketball, so I'm just going to move on. So what I just showed you was a Facebook page, right? If you don't know anything about web technology, well, this is the first introduction to the technical aspect of a web page. When you look at a web page, okay, behind the scene, from your perspective, from your computer, there are three components to a web page. The three parts are called HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. HTML and CSS are actually acronyms, and we're going to cover what the acronyms actually stands for. But for now, just remember that it is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So without me telling you anything about those terms, they don't really mean anything to you, right, if you don't already know what those are. So I'm going to just give you a very high-level overview. When you look at a web page, okay, there are three components to a web page. There's the content, which is described by HTML. There's the presentation, which is the functionality of CSS. And there's interactivity, which is the role of JavaScript. And I'm going to show you exactly how each of the component, how you can experience each of the component. So this part is called Web Experience in Action. I'm going to show you exactly what each part is about. So I actually can connect to the internet, which is good. I was kind of worried that I wouldn't be able to. So I'm going to go straight to the Facebook page. I don't think that's Jeremy Lin. No. Whoops. Hold on. Let me go back to my slides. Let's see what the web. Oh no, I didn't catch. I don't have his web address, but I think it's Lin. Oh, I know. Okay, guys, sorry. I guess we just have to go with some some nobody today. Let me just log into Facebook first. Dude, who is this guy? Okay, give me someone famous or whoever, doesn't matter. Like, give me something. Tontiopa? How do I spell that? This is not your classmate, right? All right, well, I don't know who he is, but well, but thank you. Thank you. You have a lot of courage. So, um, we talked about how a web page, right? You're viewing a web page right now is composed of three parts: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So I'm going to show you exactly what each of the parts is. I downloaded a Firefox add-on that actually allows you to disable CSS. So when I click this, this is what Tonjiropad's website turned into. You can see that now it looks really crappy, right? So the difference, right, between what you're seeing now and, whoops. And what you see here is actually the effect of CSS. When you apply CSS to like a straight a web page, it can transform your web page to look really, really nice, right? So what I just showed you was the difference between not having CSS and having CSS. And just to emphasize the point, the stuff that you see here is HTML. It's the content of the web page. So let's see. How come I can't send him a message? Wait, how come I can't send you a message? Hold on. What's wrong with your page, Ton? Okay, I'm just going to go to like some of my page. Okay, it's stuck too. I'm not trying to show you guys my Facebook page. I'm actually trying to show you JavaScript, the other aspect of HTML. Hold on. Okay, go to my brother's page. Okay, so you know that Facebook, you can like posts, right? You can click like. Whoa, what's happening? Okay. I don't know what's wrong, but yeah, I like this picture. So you can like and unlike, right? Yeah. This is the effect of JavaScript. I'm just going to go into a little bit technical detail. In the past, when you developed a web application, any form of interactivity on the page will involve a page refresh. So by that I mean, when you click on something, this is what it will look like in the past. So you click on something, the page will refresh just like that, because there was no concept of interactivity. But now with JavaScript, which is a programming language for the web, it allows you to basically use the web like a desktop application. I actually wanted to use the other web browser, Firefox, to show you what happens when you disable JavaScript, but I guess I messed up. So this is why it didn't work, is because JavaScript was disabled. So yeah, you can like it or you can unlike it, right? But you see, here's what happens when you actually disable JavaScript. So you can hit like, right? Whoa, doesn't work. But anyway, okay, the point is that when you disable the JavaScript, actually this doesn't happen, okay? On the server side, like let's say I refresh this page, it shouldn't show up, but anyway, it does. Yeah, JavaScript allows you to interact with the page just like how it is a desktop application. Anyway, moving on. So now we're going to dive into coding a little bit. I saw some of your slides in the past, and I hope that, I know that you guys are all familiar with programming. So I especially took care not to, the code that I'm going to be showing you today should not be so confusing. If it is confusing, then just, shout at me or raise your hand and let me know, okay? The first step, okay, so does anyone remember what does HTML give you? What is it? What, in terms of the web page experience, what does it give you? Content, right? It gives you the information about the web page. Without HTML, you wouldn't be able to make out like what the page is talking about. You could be on Jeremy Lin's web page, or you could be on Ton's web page, and you wouldn't even know because you can't see any text. So what I just did was I used a web browser, and I opened a file called 0_helloworld.html. And this is what you see. So it's just text, hello world. I think that when you guys started learning programming, probably the first application that you wrote was probably like a hello world application, right? I don't know why they keep using that, but it's a tradition now. If someone can come up with a better, a more hip term, that'd be great. But so how did I make this hello world show up in the web page? All that I did was, if you look at the file that I opened, all I did was just type in hello world. So HTML, okay, the pages that you see, all that it really is just text, okay? If you remember the definition from Wikipedia, they said one term that they used was documents. All web pages are just text documents, okay? If there's anything that you can take away from HTML, it's that it's just text. So you can create a website by just typing text and then open it in the web browser. But if that's all there is to it, then I wouldn't be here. So this is not a valid HTML document. To have a valid HTML document, it needs to look something like this. But before I go over the code, I want to open that file that I just opened right now. So the file that I just opened was hello world, the second one. And you can see that it looks the same, right? It's just hello world. But if you go back to my text editor, it actually has a lot more stuff to it. You don't have to worry about what this extra stuff is, but just know that. So what's the content of this page? Hello world, right? All other stuff are there to describe what this document is trying to say. This is just a little side note, but the text editor that I'm using is called Vim. That is Vim, Vim. Anyone here has used Linux in the past or Unix system, operating system? The text editor. So what is one text editor that you guys are familiar with? Notepad, right? Notepad. Notepad by itself is a pretty good text editor for maybe just storing some very simple text documents. But as a programmer, I think it would be beneficial to learn some of the more advanced text editor. So in one case, it would be really beneficial to learn something like Vim, because with Vim, you can really type a lot faster. And it took me maybe 2 to 3 months to actually get used to it. So just to go over some of the advantage, with the Vim text editor, you can have syntax highlighting. I don't know, so I hope that nobody here actually programmed Java in like Notepad, right? No? I hope, believe it or not, some of my classmates, okay, they actually program, some of my classmates in the US, they actually program in Notepad. And I was like, wow. So I'm gonna go off tangent just a little bit, but as a web developer, you have to know the theory quite well. You have to know how to program. But one aspect that is not often mentioned is knowing the tools that you use. By tools, I mean text editor, the operating system that you use. Knowing those things, like knowing how to use the tools well, allows you to create your application much more efficient, okay? So just remember that don't disregard the importance of tools. Anyway, enough about that. So what I would just want to show you here is just what HTML document looks like, okay? You don't have to worry about the syntax right now. We're just gonna move on to the next slide. We're gonna come back and cover the what each of the syntax really means. So the next thing is, if you remember, the second component of a web page is CSS, right? So can anyone tell me what CSS is responsible for? Yes, presentation. Good, you guys are paying attention. So I'm going to show you what CSS looks like. I'm going to go off of the document that we just saw earlier. So if you see this HTML file now, I'm just going to add CSS to it, okay? So this part here is CSS, and without going to the web page, can anyone guess what adding this code will do to the web page? Yeah. So it's pretty simple, right? So if I just change the color, the background color to cyan. So you can see, just to recap real quick, so HTML delivers you the content being hello world. CSS is responsible for helping you make the web page look really bad like this. No. Help make your web page look better by, for example, changing the background color. So going back to, I hope I don't confuse you guys by keep switching back and forth between like a text editor and the Keynote presentation, but bear with me. Oh, speaking of being confused, there was a movie that came out in the theater, and it, like watching it, it made you like really have motion sickness. It was like a monster movie, and they shot it like a home video style. Do you remember what was that called? It was a really good one. Oh, Paranormal Activity is like a ghost movie, right? There's another one, it's an alien movie. I don't remember. But anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is that I hope that I don't give you motion sickness by switching back and forth between the slide and the text editor. If I remember the name of the movie, I'll tell you guys. Okay, so what does JavaScript look like? We're not gonna we're going to look at the code now. So you remember this is HTML, CSS, right? And now this is JavaScript. So working off of the original document, HTML, so now this is JavaScript. What do you think this code does? Sorry, I can't give you any extra points every time you actually answer something correctly. I hope Dan Ban is keeping track. Maybe he can give you some extra credit. This one is definitely worth it, right? I mean, I think this one is kind of worth it. If you can actually tell me what it actually does to the page, then I think this one.
Okay, the rule is that to respond to the question, if you would like to use your rights to obtain the extra point, raise your hand and answer.
Yeah.
As simple as that.
And you don't get points off for answering it wrong, so you can't lose. So what do you think this code does? What the heck is this doing here? No? I guess you guys don't raise hand because you don't know how many points you're going to get, right? Anyway, it's okay. So a lot of you might not know the syntax of JavaScript, but I hope that this is more expressive. It's more descriptive compared to Java, right? It actually tells you what that is. So what is that? What is this on line 24 to 26? It is a function, a method, right? I'm not going to go into details, the difference between a function and method, but yeah, in a sense, it is a method or a function. And can you guess what the alert function does? Go ahead. Yeah, it is actually a pop-up. So what's your name? Oh, Salawut. Okay. See how easy it is? So, okay, you got some extra points for raising hand. So he's making note. Don't complain to me, okay, if the points are too low, all right? I'm not the one giving you the points. So, okay, so when this function is called, it will might as well earn your point, man. Pop up something, right? Like pop up hello students. And here, you don't have to, I guess, at least you can guess that it's going to fade out something, right? So let's see what happens. I'm going to go back to my browser and then go to that file I was just showing you. Pop up. And it fades out the hello world text. So you can see that what it does it exactly in sequential order. First, we call the function which is called say hello to students. It pops up a dialog and then prints out the message hello students, and then it fades out the hello world text, right? This syntax you don't have to worry about, but I just want to show you, give you a feel for what JavaScript looks like. You can see that this is not very different from a C-based language like Java or C or C++. It comes with semicolon, parentheses, brackets, all these stuff that make your hands tired. Since we're on the topic of semicolon,